Well, hello, welcome back to I Know a Guy Bicycles Hanging Out with a Guy. Hi, I'm Justin the Guy. So, about ready to wrap this up. Got to the point where got this Trek Postal full carbon frame and fork. Vintage, I would say this is closer to vintage. Looking at it and the age on it and so forth, you can tell by like the head batches on one of these what year it was. Early 2000s, late 90s kind of range, probably late 90s, because this is where they had still the 1-inch headsets versus the 1.1" that were integrated over to road bikes. They were right in that transition piece. And this had instead of the front load ones, this is like the precursor of those. It has 2 bolts down here and it kind of hinges out so you can drop the bars out, swap stems. Very interesting. Anyway, I'm gonna throw some tape on this guy. It's just a hangout video, just a finishing this one up, and just kind of wanted to talk about the bike a little bit. It was initially known to be, it was going to be a project. I mean, it was going to be something I was going to put a little bit into it. Not as much as I thought. I mean, well, more than I thought. A lot more than I thought. There was, when I got the bike, it was not rideable. So I knew there was going to be some issues there. I noticed during the initial first inspection at the time of purchase that the rear wheel was toast, and a couple other things that were just going to need to be addressed. Getting into it, diving into it, the things that really caught me off guard was the headset was basically rusted out. I mean, I still have the pile of bearings, and it's, good thing I had my tetanus shot. And that was one. How to replace the shifter, which I knew I was going to do that to match it. Rear to rear, they're same thing. Guy gave me parts. Like, here's some parts, it should work for you. It was actually an 11-speed chain and cassette, and this is a 9-speed, so not even. And the chain was stretched, so basically that goes straight into the recycler. Cassette, I'll have to double check it. But, it's one of those things where, when people, I don't know if it's deliberate. Sometimes it is. I mean, some people are just, I just want to get rid of this pile of crap on top of stuff, and I can utilize a lot of it, but for the general person that wants to find a used bike and maybe work on it, this would have been a very expensive fixer-upper. I mean, very expensive fixer-upper. I have a whole new wheel set. Wheel sets, if you're going to buy them new, they're going to be a couple $100 just right there. Shifter to replace that. I mean, I've seen the used ones out there for about $100. Rear to rear, they're about the same. The funkiness with the headset, and also this one had a chainring issue that they didn't install the chainring right, which was kind of crazy. I shot a video on that, just specifically that. And detailing the frame and cleaning it and doing all new cable and housing and routing it. If I was going to go put my estimator hat back on for a quote to have it work done, I would say it'd be close to $500. I mean, easily. Time parts and labor at a shop, and yeah, easily. Just the parts, just the stuff that I did to it would value that for sure. Will I be able to get that back out of it? No. This is going to be one of those things. I had a sentimental attachment type to this kind of bike. Reminds me of when I was working at my parents' shop in Parker, Colorado, Parker Bikes in the 90s. And it's kind of like one of those things, like, if I knew if I didn't pick it up, somebody would, and it just sat in somebody's basement or garage until either they were willing to spend $500 at a shop to get it fixed, or they were going to do it themselves, and it would take forever and be discouraged of the outcome because it probably would never come to fruition. And so yeah, that's where I kind of felt like, this is kind of, take an opportunity, put a lot into it, provide some good content for things to look out for, that kind of deal. But I think it turned out pretty good for the most part. I mean, is it perfect? No. Is it rideable? Oh yeah. Does it have a lot of life still in it? Yeah, absolutely. That's what's nice about carbon bikes. I mean, the carbon aspect of it, these guys, they last for forever if treated right and worked on. There's the frame doesn't technically wear out, just the parts, and all the parts I got on here are pretty much cleaned up, refurbished, and I wouldn't say new, but it's good to go. Pretty clean. Some of the stuff came out really good. Some areas there's some like chippage that needs to be addressed, but other than that, pretty good layout. The wheels, they're not matching vintage, but it's they're pretty decent. They're actually an upgrade to, well, the upgrade that wasn't working on there kind of thing. So yeah, absolutely. Get this other side wrapped up. So yeah, you'll notice there's a icon. Icon was like their parts that they're branding at the time, Trekkia's branding at the time, before they started to put Bontrager on everything. And so Icon is like the predecessor of Bontrager. So they have Icon bars, and it's called Graphite Series. Color, it doesn't really mean anything else other than that. Same thing with the stem. Icon for the carbon fork. Air rail, not really sure what kind of marketing employee that was. But this was a frame that was manufactured in Waterloo, Wisconsin, and it's carbon fiber, as I mentioned, but it's bonded, so they would make these lugs and tubing, and they would glue them together. Same kind of concept when this is aluminum crown here, then the carbon's glued, so this actually does have a steel fork upper, so, but the rest of it's all pieced together, bonded. And back in the day, this is kind of interesting tidbit, is they were able to repair these, not like a standard the traditional repair now, will cut it out and patch it kind of thing. That's what they do now. They would be able to deglue these basically. So if you needed this tube replaced, they unglue it here, take the old one out, slide a new one in, bond it, boom, paint it, be just like new. So the things they did back then, just try to keep them competitive. And the market was pretty crazy. Working in a shop in that time frame was pretty crazy too. It was like a whole bunch of stuff was coming out, and they're trying new things and brands, and especially the full suspension mountain bike phase kind of world was hitting at that time, and that was a whole level bizarre world. Things have shaken out, obviously, in the last 20 years of what works, what doesn't work kind of deal, and what they're going to stand behind. Same thing with road bikes. They've gone to like the next level of integration, but it's still pretty good stuff, and not terribly. Back then it was a night and day difference between a couple of years of a bike. Like if you was 98 and you got a 95, it'd be a completely different ride. Since things have shaken out the last 20 years, you know, yeah, there is differences for sure, but a lot is more subtle. So nowadays, it's like you can get yourself a bike that's 10 years old and still be very comparable and comparable to today's current standards. What's coming off the assembly line now. So when I do my wrap, sometimes it tightens everything up just a little bit. So I go readjust the brakes just a smidge so they're not too binding. Alright, this guy's about ready to hit the road. Ready for a new owner. And you know, it's one of those things that a lot of people do appreciate what I'm doing. Have a level of understanding, especially those who are buying another second bike or what have you. They understand the cost and the time that equates to fixing up something used. And it's kind of nice to get somebody into a new to them bike and get them really excited and passionate about it. Back into cycling, back into riding, or something new to them. You know, some people are done a lot of mountain biking or whatever kind of thing, and haven't done road riding at all. That kind of deal. So get my stickers on there. Awesome. There we go. One more down. Ready to go. Ready for a new rider. Well, anyway, thank you for hanging out and enjoying the journey with me, or tagging along on the journey with me. And if you like these kind of videos or what have you, subscribe to my my YouTube channel. Like my Facebook page, go to my website, iknowaguybicycles.com, throw your email down for our email list. Until next time, taking scary out of used, one bike at a time.